Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And today I'm going to be doing a ship with me video. I've had a couple of requests and I haven't done it in a while. So it's Sunday afternoon. And so we're going to go ahead and pack the stuff that sold after I shipped yesterday morning. So all of Saturday and then this morning. It was a good weekend of sales. But I've got some heavy stuff. See these boxes right here? All of that was pre-packed. So I've talked about that before. If it isn't going to fit in a known box, I have larger boxes up here and I buy larger boxes. And if I know it's going to be in one of those boxes, then I won't pre-pack it. But if I have to take the time to figure out what size box, we just pre-pack it and I stick it over in a corner in the building. So I sold 2 sets of books and a dehydrator, which is what those 3 are. So we're going to start with them, and then we'll just go through. I have sales also on Mercari and Poshmark, and then, of course, always eBay. And we'll just kind of talk about my thought process when I'm packing this stuff, and I'll show you some of the stuff that sold also for the weekend. All right, so let me first get these big ones taken care of. All right, let's start with they were Harlequin romance books. We talk about this in my live a lot. Elizabeth, who is one of my co-hosts, Lizzie Faye Loves Books, loves to list Harlequin romance books and romance books in general. We picked these up a while back and they got buried and I didn't get them listed. But I did, and they sold very quickly. Within a month, they had sold. So.
And they were free.
And they were free. So that free is even better. All right, so which one is this one? Presents. Let me pick the right one.
For Presents.
Presents. I think it's Harlequin Presents. And then Harlequin Desire. All right, they were all pre-weighed and pre-measured when I listed them. So I'm not going to double check myself because I'm sure of that. 26 pounds. I did offer medium L and priority, but priority would have been ridiculous. Now they paid $78 for, I want to say it was 80 some books. So about a little less than $1 a book. So to them, it's a really good deal. But dang. All right. They picked medium L, which was still $20 for a 26-pound box. I'm just going to print this label out. Just pack your stuff so you don't have issues. Not your little stuff, but your big stuff, definitely. And then I had another smaller set that sold for $60. And these are the current. They were 2021 through 2022. So they're the current books. I think the vintage ones do very well in lots also. And then this box was 20 pounds. And they paid $16. And then I sold an Excalibur dehydrator. I already have one. I picked this one up at a yard sale. I want to say it was $5. I couldn't pass it up. Sold for $44. This will all be in my what solds. So I'm just so used to telling you guys. And then usually if I pre-box something just to remind myself that it's pre-boxed, I put in my custom SKU, boxed, and then the location. Because stuff gets, I have non-box stuff with box stuff. So if I know I'm looking for a box, I'm not going to waste my time looking for other stuff. All right. Oh, and then this, Bert made noise. This person left me a special note asking if we would write on the box, leave inside, small blue gate. Simple enough. We'll just write it on the box near the label. Because hopefully, I guess they're not wanting it left on their front porch or wherever they normally get their packages delivered. Let me see what they picked. And they picked priority shipping. Yeah, Alabama, so it's not too bad. All right, now to the packing part. All right, let's start picking a few things. All right, stuffed animal, animal adventure. This is nothing, there's nothing hard in it. So I'm just going to put it in a bag. I keep a large numbers of these sizes. These are 5 different sizes here, and then I do have larger bags for bigger plush. That if it's going to be over a pound, I'm just going to go ahead and put it in a free priority box because I pay for these. You might as well use a free priority box if it's going to be over a pound anyway. But some plush are large and light. And Robert usually helps me with a lot of the fragiles at first, like I'm about to give him. Not fragile, but something that's going to take a little bit of packing. And then I focus on just getting the easy stuff done. And then I print all the labels for everything. So there's no... Obviously, my scale needs reset. It was saying this was 3 pounds. All right, now we're good. If you haven't bought a scale yet, my recommendation is make sure you buy a scale that has the partial ounce. You know, it'll say 5.8. That way, you know, just kind of helps you round up to the correct amount. But if it said 6, if it says 8, is it really 8 or is it 9? You know, so because that's a whole different price range for your labels.
Right. So is it 7.8 or
8.
8.2?
Yeah. And they're very cheap on Amazon. I have just an Accutech. I think it's like 20 bucks. I think Robert probably has a link for it down in the description of our video.
Right. There are links in the description. There are links in the description for, I forget which one we bought last, but one of them has a memory on it. So if you put a really large box on it, then you can press a button and it will hold the weight for several seconds so you could read it. And the other one we have, the readout.
It has the detachable readout. But it doesn't have the point weight. So does it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's, well, never mind. All right, so one done. Watch where your shipping labels are coming from. Somehow mine this weekend got dumped over into PayPal. So just pay attention, and I meant to double check with these.
You mean the funds for your shipping label?
Yeah, the funds. Somehow it went from pull from my eBay funds to pull from PayPal. So I had 2 days of labels.
Somehow I got blamed for that.
It's always Robert's fault. Always. All right, another easy plush. He is a dandy bear. I think. Sometimes I can eyeball it and know which label, but sometimes not.
Which label?
Yeah, which bag. Holy cow, it's Sunday. This was a Fontanini nativity ox or bull. I picked these up at an estate sale. This is so for like it's $17, so I'm thrilled. I always ship this kind of stuff in a box. This is a box. It's going to collapse. And they may want the box for it, so box it, and then we just put an air pillow, fill in the gap. Did you walk off with my tape? No, here it is. I buy a lot of boxes. I have I use a lot of 6x4x4s and 4x4x4s, and then over here I have 8x6x4s and 10x8x6. Just lots of variety. I know everybody can't do that, but make sure when you're out looking for boxes, try to find some sturdy small stuff too, you know, because I use a lot of these, a lot. Let me show you a packaging fail. This. It was a little Lamax ski ducklings. When I took pictures of it, I did not notice that this piece wasn't strapped inside. You know how these days if you buy something, there's that plastic stuff that's got it wrapped inside the packaging where nothing's going to move. Well, this wasn't, and I didn't notice. And when the buyer received it, she sent me a picture and I was like, how in the world did this happen? But now I know it was just loose in the box. And then when it started shipping, it wasn't loose. It has a, let me show you. So it was down in the plastic like this, inside the box. For some reason, I just didn't realize it was going to come loose when it got shipped. That was just a really bad decision on my part. We all make dumb mistakes like this. So if I ever find one of these again, you know, look, here's all of them got amputated off of here because it just got loose in the box, and just next time I'll know to stuff inside of here so this doesn't come out of it. But, you know, pay attention to how your stuff is packed inside of a box. Lesson learned, right? All right, look how cute. 3 little Sesame Street plastic hollow ornaments. Sent out an offer this morning and they scooped it up. So these, again, boxed. I keep my bubble wrap up. It's on a thing. Just gotta find where it's gonna be able to tear. All right. Wrap it. You never want anything loose in a box. So however you're going to pack it, make sure once you get it in there, nothing is going to shake. And I'm pretty sure I've had issues with my boxes. Sometimes I get them and they're very flimsy and they're going to collapse with a lot of weight on them. This last batch, pretty sure I bought it from the Boxery. I'm loving. They are very, very sturdy. So I got to make sure the next time I go to order boxes, I make sure I pick the exact same thing that I purchased this time. Pikachu. I think for him, I'm going to use a bubble mailer. He's just got these ears. It's not going to damage them, but sometimes I just would rather have a little bit more protection around it. So Pikachu. I know I've talked about this before, but when I list, especially like my under a pound stuff, when I list it, it's going to either be 4 ounces, 8, 12, or I put 15, but I really mean 16, but it won't let you put 16. Or you could keep it at 1 pound, 0 ounces. It doesn't matter. I just usually put in 15. Most everything is in that range is going to be okay with the 15. And I don't change them when I'm going to ship unless I'm wrong. You know, if I list it and I say it's going to be 8 ounces, but it ends up only being, you know, 3.8 ounces, then I'll change it down to 4. But, you know, sometimes once I do the real packaging, then I'll bump it, you know, I may have to bump it up to 12 ounces, but I never put 9 ounces or 3 ounces. It's either 4, 8, 12, or 15. And it just makes things easier for me. I don't have to know the exact weight when I'm listing it, because anything in that bracket is going to be at that price. I hope that makes sense. So like this thing, you know, I listed it for 8 ounces, even though it's really actually measuring 6.7. It's still going to be the correct price for it. Because I don't know the actual how much every piece of packaging cost. And it doesn't need to be that tedious. This is 5 boxes of vintage Christmas ribbon. Bought a whole box because there was something else in there that I wanted. I don't remember what it was, but I probably paid $5 for a large box of this Christmas stuff. And then I just decided to keep these 5 together. They sold for $30, so, you know, definitely keep your eyes out for vintage gift wrap and the ribbons and stuff like that. More than likely, though, I've got this scheduled to go priority in just a large box, but before Robert packs it, yeah. So for my over 1 pounds with my calculator, you know, it's either going to be 2 pounds or 3 pounds or 4 pounds. No, I don't do the ounces, just whatever it's going to measure up to. And then I have, you know, the size of the box that I anticipate, you know, shoe box, large box, small box. I have all them memorized. So, 2 pounds priority box. These, they are so cute. I'm sure I showed these in a haul. I pack everything in bags once I do process them and get them listed. It keeps them clean. It keeps them together. I don't have to worry about something falling out. I like to use the self-fill bags. Plus, it also has the suffocation warning on the bags. But these little 4 puppets, I think I paid $1 each, so $4, and they sold for $27. But just gonna put them in a shoebox. And then Robert's taken just a clean bag that we picked these up at Sam's. Stuff it with newspaper and stick it down in here. Large plush. This is an Expressions red panda or raccoon. I couldn't decide, so I used both words. Big, but it's going to fit in a large priority box once I compress it a little. Oh, don't laugh. Beanie Baby, 2001. Look at him. He is tracks, a lynx, sold for almost $8. Most of us can find these at yard sales and the Goodwill bins for next to nothing. Except around here. Everybody at these estate sales has like $5 and $10 on their Beanie Babies. 30. Yeah. All right. He has the paper tag in very nice condition. I am not putting that in a bubble or a poly. It's going in a box with a pillow. Air pillows. People still collect these. So treat them like you'd want something that you cherished, to how you're going to pack it and ship it. even with these small boxes, they very seldom go over the 8 ounce. So it's still going to be very cheap to ship. Here we go. Littlest Pet Shop. Dogs and cats usually list them all by themselves. This little Chihuahua, he's number $11.99. You can Google lens them and it will tell you exactly what number these are. He sold for $9.95. So definitely check your comps anytime you find a bunch of Littlest Pet Shops for the cats and the dogs. And mail them in a box. My 4x4s. Now my 4x4s, I'm not too happy with yet. I don't remember who I got these from, but they're, look at this. Look. I'll have to look. They still fold. They're still sturdy. I just do not like the quality.
And the last time we bought from that company, they were fine.
Yep. I think it's just what whoever they're ordering from is getting poor quality also. For this, this box is so little that when you put this in there, I kind of tip it sideways. It's going nowhere, and it's filled the whole box. Now, on these small boxes, even the 6x4x4, the 4x6 labels, I use a Rollo printer to print my label. Some people say Rollo. Robert always corrects me, so I'm going to correct myself before he gets a chance. I just fold them over as long as the post office can scan the barcode. Don't put it anywhere near a crease. You'll be fine.
It's a Rollo.
I call it a Rollo.
You can roll a Rollo.
Is that the candy or is that
chocolate cover?
Yes.
Caramel.
The problem when I get a bad batch of boxes, I usually order anywhere from 200 to 500 at a time. So I'm going to use them up and just hopefully not get a bad batch the next time. All right, pants. Couple of orders of pants. And we do flat rate on pants unless they're not going to fit. If they're not going to fit in this, then I'm going to make sure I don't charge flat rate. I'm going to charge calculated for it. So like jackets, larger jeans that once you fold them up, they're not going to fit. But I charge flat rate $8.99. And then I have several options. Sometimes regular priority is cheaper if it's somebody near me. Just to put it in a regular priority box. Sometimes, like this one, probably will fit in a flat rate envelope. And then, you know, that's $7 something. Or the padded flat rate is $8.30. All right, I think these pants are Posh. So Posh, I just throw them in these. It's any priority, flat rate or otherwise is what you ship your stuff in. Throw them in here. Because I list everything on eBay first, and then as I cross list using List Perfectly, if it sells on Posh, then I go into eBay and I end it, right? Then I can just go to my unsolds and pull everything that goes to other platforms. It's a very easy process for me. And this way also I can double check the number that I just put in there. I actually have 2 pairs of pants that are going to Posh. So I've got that one. Posh is so easy. It's easy to cross list too. It's easy to ship as long as your item is under 5 pounds and in the dimensional weight restrictions. it's just easy. You don't even have to worry about weighing or anything, as long as you know it's going to be less than 5. I accepted an offer on Posh, and their payment was messed up, and now I'm just realizing it didn't go through, so I'll have to put this away. It happens. All right. Another pair of pants. See, these are kind of fat. First, let me double check. We number everything. Start at the beginning of the year. We started, no, the beginning of last year when we started listing clothes, we sequentially listed everything in their own spreadsheet. Then this year, we just continued where we were. And then it just makes everything easy. So these are some Levi's 550 women's jeans. This is kind of thick, so I'm not even going to attempt to put it in an envelope. And it's cheaper to ship it in a box than it is to put it in a flat rate padded envelope. So I'm just going to use one of the skinny boxes. I'm going to use this. I have all 3 of the sizes. This is the smaller one, and then there's 2 that are larger. They're like 1092, 1095, 1097. All right. Here's the ribbon that Robert packed for me. Oh, sold something. When I sell something, I'm just seeing this on my list. It also said that it was sold in Poshmark. I put a code in my SKU. This is a P. So what I do is copy the title, go over to Poshmark, and get it deleted as soon as I notice. Easy peasy. Don't wait. I watch my messages. I watch everything all day long because I don't, fingers crossed, want something that sells on 2 platforms. Now, I've had somebody find it on Facebook Marketplace and buy it on eBay. But yeah, I just contacted them and said, look, I only had one and it was cross-listed, and they were fine with me canceling it on Facebook. Try not to ever cancel anything on eBay. So I'm just deleting that listing. Make it gone. This is an example of good customer service. I sent out offers. I got a question asking another question about a doll before she bought it. She wanted to know, it's a battery operated, doll, but she's not working. When I put batteries in, she wasn't doing anything. The person just wanted to clarify, was the body clean and with the mouth open and shut? Was it just something that, you could still maybe put a bottle or something in the baby's mouth? It isn't one of those. Answered the question as soon as I got it, and she bought it very quickly. And it was $25 for a non-working vintage doll, no brand. We use this tape. Duck brand, easy start. From Walmart. We try to stock up on it when they have the 8-packs. Price has really gone up though on it. Look how cute. Madame Alexander, Madeline. Cloth doll, 8-inch. She sold for $20. I'm looking her over because I'm on the fence whether I want to put her in a bubble or a box. I think I'm going to choose a box. Her hat has some bows and stuff in it. It's just got a little bit of a something that keeps it just a tad bit stiff. I just will feel better putting it in a box.
What's her name?
Madam Alexander. Oh, Madeline.
Oh, Madeline.
Oh, I don't know. I always call her Madeline. Are you sure she's not Madeline?
Madeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, Madeline. That's what I would say. You know, don't you have a Madeline in your...
I don't know, but I've always thought she was Madeline.
Maddie's in your group? She does YouTube videos up there? I
Maybe.
think her name's Madeline.
Who's right? I don't have a daughter, so I've never had to pay attention to these types of things. I've always thought she was Madeline. Robert, when I talk, the video was different there for a minute.
The what was?
The mouth on the video was delayed.
Demon side coming out.
I just hope this is okay, because there's no fixing this if it doesn't work. Anybody else getting constant two-step verification on Mercari? All of a sudden it's daily. All right, back to Build-A-Bear. He got caught up in my 20% off sale. Usually I sell them like $10 to $12. This one went for $8. All right, got another pair of pants. Let's see. Yep, these are eBay vanity jeans. All right. These are small enough that I am going to put in the flat rate envelope. The cardboard one. Little people, of course. This is a circus lion. It was also in my little 20% off sale, so he still sold for $7. Always put these in a box. Now he has a tail that could get broken off. His limbs could get broken if you just threw him in a poly. Better? You got the ribbons? Holy heck.
Did the package and flattened them out in there. We wanted to...
Robert has cut down a box for the Christmas ribbons I showed you earlier. All right, Robert's getting ahead of me. All right, these, I showed these recently. I was surprised because I passed them up. Robert found them. But they are two Bake King round cake pans that have the little arm that comes around and helps you easily release it. So we're just going to fit it in this box. Okay. Handkerchiefs, I've been listing them in lots of 4. I listed 4 lots, and I think I just sold the last of them, but I still have a huge pile. See them right there? I got to get to them. I just kind of wanted to see what was going to happen, and they're doing really well. I'm selling like 4 of them, anywhere between $12 and $15, although I did sell one state what are they? Handkerchiefs for like $12 or $13 all by itself. So on these, I've been putting them in a bubble, but just folding them up into a triangle. Because you have to remember when you're shipping stuff that's relatively flat, your package needs to have, I'm going to say it's a 1/4 inch or a 1/2 inch thickness in order for it to be considered a package. And it needs to be a package in order for you to have delivery confirmation with it and tracking. So, this is good. I'm down to the last 2 that just sold. So, I'll have to, one of them I need Robert to pack anyway. So, tomorrow he teaches. So, he won't be here all day. So, I'm going to have to get him to do that for me tonight. I don't like doing breakable kinds of stuff. And I think this last thing is Mercari. Yes, Bunko Alice in Wonderland. You can see them here. It's the Queen of Hearts, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. $18. I'll put them in a box. Because I'm using this size box and Mercari, I trim this down as small as I can possibly get it without interfering with anything to make it fit. Just don't cut the barcode, but you can get close. And then it should fold over. But again, make sure you keep the scanning code off of a crease. All right, let me show you my Etsy. I've been only at first listing high dollar stuff on Etsy. Robert's cut the box down for me, see? It's going to be cut down. I had this listed on eBay, of course, Etsy, and Poshmark, and it sold on Etsy at the highest price, again, of all 3 of the platforms. All right, this is a Mattel Barbie accessory case. It is sealed in the bag already. It's just when it opens up, there's a tray on the inside. It's from 1994. I bought it last summer. Stopped at a yard sale after I'd already been yard selling all day with my sister. Stopped at one on my way home and just bought a ton of plush and vintage toys and this. It still had its little stickers on the front. Sold on Etsy for $69.95. All right. I think it was a good weekend, huh? That's Saturday and today. Because I try to ship on Saturday mornings. It just makes my Mondays easier. But we don't always have a chance to. If we've got something we need to be to early on Saturday morning, then we don't ship. All right. Are we done, Bert? Here's my oh yeah, I bought a Halloween thing. Gotta get it listed like today. But again, it needs to be pre-packed so that I have the correct dimensions. Can't stress that enough. You do not want those surprises when you go to print a label at all. All right. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll try to do it again in a couple of weeks. Bye.